To me, the mentality is a really simple one in the sense that the confidence comes from preparation.
Confidence. Confidence is the willingness to try. Because when you try and you take action, what happens, and what's happened for France, is that when she sees her...
Our self-confidence was determined by how we were raised, the parents we had, the teachers we had, the bosses we've had, the jobs we've had.
And they will recognize and respect that confidence either consciously or subconsciously. They feel it. They feel it.
To me, the mentality is a really simple one in the sense that the confidence comes from preparation. You know, so when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before, right? So when I prepare, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. You know, right? And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. So what's one more time?
We've bought into a lie that confidence is belief in self. And so when you're in a situation which is normal, where you don't believe in yourself, you're like, oh my God, I have no confidence. The truth is, and I want you to walk out of here with a new definition of confidence. Confidence is the willingness to try. Because when you try and you take action, what happens, and what's happened for France, is that when she sees herself taking action, what happens is she sees herself being the kind of person that takes action. So she has evidence that she can rely on herself. And that action is what builds confidence. It doesn't start with belief. The real way for most of us is not to wait to believe, but to push ourselves to act. And through the action, you will build the belief.
No one is born with self-confidence. Zero. Right? Every single one of us, our self-confidence was determined by how we were raised, the parents we had, the teachers we had, the bosses we've had, the jobs we've had. My sister worked for a company for 17 years, and her boss destroyed her self-confidence. She came out of that job, and she didn't realize until she got into her new job how afraid she was to make decisions because of her boss. And it took a while for her to get her confidence back. And so if somebody's insecure, we have to over and over and over again prove to them, because we don't know where they came from. We don't know what kind of trouble they got in before for being honest, right? Or how they were raised. We don't know. And so we have to have total empathy and just prove to them that if they make a mistake, they're gonna get helped, not hurt. They're gonna get supported, not yelled at. And the first time they won't believe you. They think it's a game. They think it's a con. It's a trick. The second time, maybe. And we just have to keep at it. That every time, I used to have somebody on my team who would regularly lie to me, right? Because she would rather lie to me than tell me that she made a mistake. And if I saw the lie, I would ask so many questions to get her to say to me, I screwed up. I'd be like, well, this doesn't make sense. Because I can't say you're lying to me, right? I'd just say, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. If this adds up to this, then why is it that? And the lie would get bigger, and then she would yell at me about how I don't trust her. And then at the end, I have to be like, listen, it clearly doesn't add up. I'm okay if it doesn't add up, if you made a mistake. Just tell me, and I'm good, and we'll move on. But when you deceive me, I'm gonna ask you so many questions to get to the truth that it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. I had to have that conversation with her probably 50 times before little cracks started to show, where she showed up to me once where one number wasn't there, and she looked at me and said, I made a mistake. And I went, cool, thanks. Alan Mulally puts it brilliantly. He says, you have a problem. You are not the problem. Right? So if something goes wrong, we have a problem, but you are not the problem. And that's the point is, we've too many times told people that they're the problem. So I think it's just gonna take time and patience, and you have to do the hard work of helping that person build up their confidence again.
Who needs it more than you? Who needs this win more than you? Meaning, I have 4 kids. I have all these employees. It's not about me. It's about them. And so often, especially for women, I think that if you can tie it to something greater than yourself, everyone talks about the why, and Simon Sinek, what's your why? And that's great. but it's like, it's not, for me, it's not what's my why, it's what's my who. Who needs this more than I need this? And other people are counting on me to be strong. And often I think when you don't have the courage in yourself, you can find the courage for other people. Like, have you ever heard those stories where like a parent will like lift a car off their child who's been pinned underneath it?
Yeah.
You will find a way when it's for someone else.
Subordinating your ego is actually the ultimate form of self-confidence. That level of confidence earns respect. So while the initial thought or feeling might be that you back down, you've actually shown that you have the strength and confidence to give the other person credit, and they will recognize and respect that confidence either consciously or subconsciously. They feel it. They feel it. Echo Charles, when you're getting ready to roll jiu-jitsu and you have never rolled with this person before and you lock up with them, you know, right? You can feel it. And now, whether you want to admit it or not, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what this does. When someone says, hey, you know what? Go ahead and run with that. And Dave might think, well, that's right. That's right. I'm going to run with it because my plan was better. And in the back of his mind, he thinks, man.
Yeah.
And like when someone says, oh, you want to start a cross side? That's basically what you're saying. That's basically what you're saying. You want to start in a dominant position? Go ahead. It's fine. It's fine with me. I'm so confident in my jiu-jitsu that you can basically start anywhere. You can start in a totally dominant position and I'm going to be fine. When you subdue your ego, when you subordinate your ego, that person, you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to start on the mountain. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And you think that, right? And you feel powerful. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, maybe subconsciously you're thinking, wow, this person is confident. This person knows that they're going to win.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing that happens here. Hey, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and run with this? And you go, yeah, that's right, I won. And in the back of your mind, you think, man, Jocko doesn't even really, he doesn't even care where this ends up. And check this out. If you're reading this and you're going, I don't want to subordinate my ego because I'm powerful, then read the next part, which says, if you're truly powerful, you got no problem doing it.
This doesn't concern you at
guess
all.
what? Hey, you know what? I don't need to be the star of the show. Because I'm just going to be over here, and it's going to be fine. You guys can pay attention to the other guys. That's cool. I'll be over here. And I'm good with that. I don't need to say anything. I don't need to start in the best position. I'm good. I'm confident. I've been doing this game for a long time. We're good.